Another round? Why do you... You are not prepared! You are not! This guy's toast. Leroy! Not prepared!
Hello and welcome everybody to Friday Night Fights. We have a very special episode for you tonight. Where we are going to bring you not one, but three matches tonight. We have to start an incredible match, the THL March, April, May, whatever you want to call it, madness.
June, July, COVID
June,
virus.
July.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am joined tonight. I am Mayanadon. I'm joined tonight by Silver, FreeHongKong, and Saku.
Wave
It's gonna be a fun night. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Our first match of the night, is that Aviously versus Eggowaffle semi-final match for that THL month madness, many months madness that we have. And the winner of this will move on to fight Peachock in the finals. So really big implications here. I'm excited. Let's take a look at these decks. We got them up. Saku, how we doing?
We have the decks up. The decks are...
Oh, yeah.
On the left side, we have Aviously, and then we have Obviously, and then we have Eggowaffle on the right.
Perfect. So my question here is, do we have bans yet? Is that, do we know what's going on there?
I don't have bans just yet. I just noticed that Aviously just signed into Hearthstone.
Perfect.
He's told them to challenge up, and they can let me know what the bans are. Seconds here.
Excellent. So we have had quite a few nerfs since these decks have been submitted. So a lot of the lists have been updated recently. That it's interesting to see how some of these nerf cards are gonna fare. But both players are gonna have the same problems. We have Priestess of Fury and both Demon Hunters, which has been phased out for the most part, as well as those Sigil Runners still in there. And the Rogue on Obviously's side is running the Secret package, which has been a little bit less favored recently with those Blackjack Stunners nerfed. So I'm curious to see how these games play out.
Yeah. I mean, you're still gonna see the same. The Hunter lists, both have been refined since they were put in, but they're still pretty good. And the Warrior list were kind of hit with a nerf recently, but I don't think that it's affected too much. So those will be the strong decks going into the matchups. And definitely, I assume we're going to see one of the two of those as bans. But it'll be interesting, to say the least, to see how these unrefined lists actually will play against one another. Like with the Demon Hunters specifically, will they even be able to pull out a win with one of those?
I think it's still probably okay, but certainly not as powerful as other builds that have been sort of refined since then.
Yeah, well, we can guarantee those aren't going to be the bans. Unless you're really scared of old, unrefined Demon Hunter.
Hey, and in some cases, that's still just good enough. These hunter lists, like you said, are a little bit, older. On Avi's side, actually, both players bringing a Grand Slam, which has been sort of phased out from those lists. And yeah, the mage is also actually looks like a pretty standard list with maybe a couple different tech choices. So I think
Yeah,
that
mage seems pretty solid, and
Mhm.
the warrior seems pretty regular to warrior as well.
It is a bomb variant though, with those wrench calibers and the blastmaster boom, which
That'll be better into that mage matchup, which is
yeah,
usually unfavored. But the Grand Slam, while it being phased, that's still a really good card. I'm
yeah.
more whenever looking at the hunter list, the things that I would more critique myself personally would be like running cards like Diving Griffin. Diving Griffin has mostly been phased out unless it came back recently.
No, Diving Griffin's definitely still in those lists. You use it in conjunction with Zixor.
It
Some people are running, faceless as well.
The
That
thing is, with that card, if you're not running faceless, which are either of them running faceless?
no, not in the hunter lists, but
No, it
it's
pulls the same card that you want to pull off of. It can be pulled from Scavenger's Ingenuity on either deck, which I think is
yeah,
a
but
little weaker and makes the card weaker overall.
yeah, I don't know. I think even before the faceless had been introduced, it just usually was good enough, right? Because it lets you guarantee getting the Zixor Prime, maybe, because you can play the Griffin. Even if you have Zixor and the Griffin in hand, you can play the Zixor first, guarantee pulling that Zixor Prime with the or the Scavenger Ingenuity cycles into the Griffin, into the Zixor. There's lots of different combos with those three that usually you don't have one stranded in the hand. You can find a way to capitalize on it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we'll just have to see
Yeah.
how that affects the matchups and if it does even. But nonetheless, interesting decks. It should be a fun match to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this play out for sure.
So, Aviously was just probably reorganizing his deck list.
Mm-hmm.
So they still haven't got bans just yet.
Okay.
But I see he's
Any predictions? Yeah. Any predictions on these bans?
double warrior ban. That way, Avi
gets to play whatever.
I'm thinking we're probably going to see a hunter ban from Ego and a hunter ban a hunter ban from Avi as well. I think we're going to see a double hunter ban.
Wow, that's actually I'm not so sure about a double hunter ban, but
I'm thinking more demon hunter for both, but it's kind of hard to say because everything's changed now. So
yeah, but I still think those decks still do what Demon Hunter does. I could see Avi banning Demon Hunter still.
Would mage be for
I
Avi's
don't
mage?
I don't think Avi needs or that Ego would ban the mage, but
it could be possible, knowing that you're a warrior. That's the one bad matchup in your opponent's lineup that you really fear. Is that one mage? So maybe he does just ban the mage, so he can.
Well, he's running the wrench caliber list with the blastmaster boom.
That's true. That's why I didn't initially
Yeah.
even look at that as a ban, because he is running the bomb package.
Yeah, we'll see. I think I lean maybe Demon Hunter or Warrior ban for Avi, and then Hunter, Demon Hunter for Ego to ban.
So we get the bans now, thankfully.
Oh well, there you go.
So
Enough speculating.
Avi's Hunter is banned, and Ego's Warrior is banned.
Oh. Okay. All right, so we will be seeing Avi's looks like a secret Galakrond Rogue, Tempo Demon Hunter, and Highlander Mage against Ego's it looks like Stealth Galakrond Rogue, Highlander Hunter, and Tempo Demon Hunter. Yeah.
Yep.
So gonna be a good one for sure.
Just letting both players know they can start.
Oh, good. My Hearthstone crashed. So give me a second here.
What do you think the first match is going to be? The first game?
Both the Demon Hunters are up, right? I kind of want to see those Demon Hunters face off.
Head-to-head Demon Hunters.
Head-to-head with those Priestess.
I think we're gonna see an early rogue pull from one of the two players, and then maybe a hunter from the other one, because both of them do have rogue and hunter. So I think we're gonna see probably the that secret rogue list pulled out from Avi. Oh wait, no, the hunter's been banned on Avi's side. So
Yep.
So it'll be. I think it's gonna be rogue from Avi, hunter from.
I think we're in. We're gonna
yeah,
find out right now.
Double demon hunter.
Double Demon Hunter. Aha.
Just predicted
There
the
we go.
future.
Let the mirrors
Right
begin.
there.
Started it off.
Evil draws
All right.
close.
Why can't I see Avi's
are
hand?
not prepared.
I hear that you are not prepared. Start. I see.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Now I see Avi's
Just
hand.
take a second. All right. So not a bad hand here for Eggo. The 2 into the 3 is pretty nice. On the other side of things, this is pretty clunky to start. I think Avi actually considering coining out the Spectral Sight. I don't think the Sigil Runner is good enough as a 1/1 to be playing, but Avi disagrees, it seems. Just if he gets stuff out of the hand, and pressure is king. Unfortunately, it will be answered by this Umber Wing.
Very well by the Ember Wing.
Very well, yeah.
We're gonna probably see the Spectral Sight come down here from Avi.
I see.
Which he pulls a Battle Fiend.
Those are some pretty solid pulls there to get things moving, but unfortunately, Eggo with a very, very strong start here. The Satyr
We're with you.
coming down now. Unfortunately, no way to make that I-Beam outcast at this point with that top deck. Going to be difficult to get that along with the I-Beam. So I imagine we just see the Chaos Dark and the Battle Fiend and maybe just trade into the 4/2. That's got to feel pretty bad, though. That's a lot of damage you don't want to be taking.
Yeah, but you don't want that to spiral out of control.
Yeah,
so.
certainly not. Alternatively, could have just played the I-Beam, but Avi probably feeling that is not enough pressure here. Eggo just getting all of the early game. Really, really powerful start. And this I-Beam potential, actually choosing to swing instead of using the I-Beam here. Utilizing the hero power, we'll be able to get that I-Beam potentially to have more value later.
Well, I mean, at the current moment, he gets max value out of the I-Beam. So I think that trade was probably the best case for him.
Hide behind your
We're going to see the Kane drop on 4 to trade into the G2.
Yeah, now with this kind of pressure, Skull of Gul'dan could guarantee it on 6. Yeah, and that's exactly what we're going to see with that I-Beam.
Yep.
Oh,
Just nasty.
I think the only way out of this for Avi at this point is some sort of Altruist combo, but with the current hand, it's going to be tough to, even with an Altruist top deck, to combo with anything else here to actually deal damage to this board.
He has lethal. Eggo has lethal on board with Metamorphosis in hand.
Oh, more than enough. Even without Metamorphosis in hand, it's just hero power will do it.
Yep.
So it's just lethal on board. Avi can see that, so has to react to this somehow. I think we're going to see this Fell Screamer, into the Satyr, into coin I-Beam, just to be able to get that I-Beam for 1. And it's just not, it's unfortunately not going to be enough here. As we can see with that Metamorphosis, the 5 damage is actually, oh no, with the Twin Slice, that is enough damage, and that will be game 1 going to Eggowaffle. Demon Hunter taking down the other Demon Hunter. You notice none of the cards that were nerfed were drawn by Eggowaffle that game.
Yeah.
Only the good cards that were still in the decks. I guess Sightless Watcher has sort of been, in and out of the deck before, but
I mean, it's still a 3/2 on
yeah.
2. So 3/2 with 2 mana, that's still a pretty good card. So
on the other side of things, we saw a lot of the nerf cards. We saw Crimson Sigil Runner, we saw the Priestess on Avi's side there. So a little bit more clunky of a hand, and Eggo takes that first win. What do you think Avi is going to try to do here? Maybe bring that Demon Hunter again, knowing that the remaining decks are that Hunter and Rogue? Or is there another deck in Avi's lineup that might feel a little bit better in those two? I think I still lean just going for that Demon Hunter. Try it again. And
Yeah, I would say Demon Hunter, and it's probably going to be Eggo's Rogue.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think it could be the Hunter. I've seen the Hunter do.
Yeah.
Oh no! So wow, totally
Yeah,
totally
I think
different.
it was going to be a swap to them, to something. Maybe I was thinking mage. Yeah, that seems right. But of course, I can see that now.
So Eggowaffle's running the more stealth version of the list. We saw also including those Frozen Shadow Weavers, but we shall see. Has the Fair Cat on one. Quite a, usually what you want to see. And into
Ancestral's not bad.
Ancestral's not too bad at all. Although you want to be applying pressure, I think, in this matchup. So
Yeah, I think he would have preferred the shot bot.
the shot bot, yeah.
Ooh, but that praise Galakron is always good to see.
Yeah, and actually gonna keep this Bearcat in a pretty healthy position here. And we are cruising.
We can see that Avi's got no real way to get rid of that Pharaoh Cat at all. Even with the use of the coin. So just
there's a ton of power in hand though.
Yeah.
If Avi's able to find one of his really powerful high-cost spells, that Dragon Caster can come down pretty early to do something to this board here. Even just a rolling fireball, yeah.
Not just to mention the imprisoned observer is going to come down probably this turn, get it online to clear up whatever board Eggo can put up.
Yeah, it's quite awkward. The first half of this Ancestral Garden will, die to the Observer, but because of that Reborn, still remains pretty sticky. We'll have to use a ping once that Observer does activate, which will be in 2 turns. So still another turn before we see that happen.
I think we're going to see an Ice Barrier Arcane Breath play this turn to make sure that Ancestral Guardian doesn't.
I actually, you don't want to take that damage. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see Arcane Breath ping if we don't see a spell here that we're too excited about.
That's true. Would we see the evocation pick by Avi?
I don't know. That's definitely the fun one. But Pyroblast, you have a Dragon Caster in hand. If you're ever in a really dire situation, or just get it online and actually, going for the Ice Barrier here, utilizing the mana a little better, and that Observer will deal with that Reborn. The second half of that does mean you're taking a little bit more damage, but with the armor, feeling comfortable enough to survive that extra 4.
And we are going to see that the Rolling Fireball will clear up whatever board Eggo puts down here, because the Observer is going to go off, leaving him with just 5 health on board between all the minions.
Yeah, the Rolling Fireball will do plenty here. We are at 2 invokes with 1 in hand here for Eggo on the other side of things. So 1 invoke away from getting a fully invoked Galvacron here pretty early.
We're going to see the early power of creation.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with that. You're only looking at 6 damage on the board, and you can get some big boys out. Gyrocopter does a pretty good job of actually clearing this board up and leaving a 4/5 online. Alternatively, the Sky Stalker is just lots of stats and the Death Rattle if you're not scared of that 6 damage hitting you for 1 more turn.
Would you like to have seen that Reckless Rocketeer on an empty board, though?
yeah, that's 10 damage. That's a Pyroblast.
Yep.
We do also have a Pyroblast, but it does result in a similar sort of, we're saying now, Avi, I think.
Looking towards the Gyrocopter heavily.
Yeah.
Which I think is the better of the 2.
I think it's the safer of the 2. The question is, how do you play around this? Are you trying to play better around Flick by double trading? Or is it better to keep 2 minions at some sort of health total and Avi deciding both rather than just a 4/5?
It plays around Seal Fate and Backstab though, really well.
It does, yeah, absolutely. Although neither of those could deal with the 5 health completely, and you can't use them together, but in combination with other tools could clear it off. It also is a bigger threat here, right? That's each one is threatening 8 damage if they aren't dealt with.
Yep.
We do have the weapon, so that's probably gonna deal with 1, but still.
I mean, on board we're representing 24 damage.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, that kobold lackey is interesting, and the goblin lackey that actually
That
allows clearing both of the Wind Fury minions.
The Titanic lackey actually make sure that your 1/6 stays on board.
Yeah, quite a good selection of lackeys there to complement that situation. And 2 invokes in hand.
Here, come down to clear up the board. 8 damage go face on this side towards Eggo. It's going to be the pass turn back over to Eggowaffle.
Yeah, now Eggo has a choice here. Can get the 2 free cost cards, but I think getting a fully invoked Galakron on 8 is probably good enough here. And yeah, that is what we're going to see. Able to clear up the 4/4 at the very least, only seeing the 4/3 remaining on the board. And Mage is not known for too high pressure. This Mana Saber could set up for a Dragon Queen Alex next turn, so I do expect that to come.
Yep, it does come down with the Orc preventing that 5/2 weapon from going to phase.
Here we go. What are the 4 free cost cards?
Heist Baron Togwaggle.
Tog is an incredible one, especially with the lackeys available. And
the Frozen Shadow Weaver as well to freeze a 4/3.
The Observer, I guess. Yeah, they unfortunately cannot target the Mana Saber, which would be the ideal target in this situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think we're going to see this Togwaggle come down, and 3 free cards next turn, or for 3 mana will be also happening, I imagine.
Are we gonna? I think we see the Faceless played, and maybe if you get the
Is it cold in the shadows?
if you get the stealth, there's a stealth 2-drop, right?
Yeah.
So if you get the stealth 2-drop, you get a 3 Greyheart. It's gonna
I think the reasoning here, though, with the Goblin, though, is you're able to clear up the Orc in the way there.
Yeah, and it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get that stealth.
Right.
2-drop.
Yeah,
But
that's
I mean,
a very rare
always-
occurrence. Yeah.
But it's always like a thing to think about at the back of your mind. Do I play it just to see if I can get that extra draw on my Greyheart?
Fate awaits you in the
I think just a 3/3 is more than enough to threaten here. And now,
I think we're
an
gonna see
interesting choice.
Are we gonna see the Pilgrim? Pilgrim puzzle, maybe? I mean, at this point, are you gonna have to pull for the puzzle? But I mean, you have more clear options, right? So maybe you just play the Pilgrim, leave the Mana Saber stealth.
It's tough though. The Pilgrim, what can it draw? Let's take a look real quick at the list here.
It can go for the puzzle box, which I
Puzzle
said
box, Deep Freeze, Blizzard is in the deck. Frost Nova, Flame Ward.
do not have the
I wonder.
deal 4 to all minions. I can't remember the name of the card right now. My brain's just not working.
Flame Strike?
Yeah, Flame
Yeah,
Strike.
that hasn't been
You're
in
in my
Ageless in
hands.
a while now, for the most part. There is that puzzle box, and I think
I think that's the pick.
that's the pick. The Flame Ward could be powerful, but let's just see what's in the box. And with the rope going, let's find out what happens. That is a pretty good result, though, clearing off 2 of those minions. Shadow Madness as well. Going to be able to clear off more. Does Avi get the attacks off, though? Playing that a little bit too late.
I think we do see the attacks.
Double the
go through.
attack.
Oh, and destroy all 5.
Shadowward Ruin actually kills off
Plague
the...
of
Oh,
Death.
no attacks can go through that Plague of Death. What is going on
Plague of
over there?
Murloc.
Plague of Murloc.
Fireball.
And a Fireball. Where's
Fireball
it
to his
going?
own
Only 2
face.
locations. Not the one you wanted to see. That Fireball going the other direction would have set up lethal next turn. Oh no, the Pyroblast can't be played just yet. We are only at 8 mana.
Yeah.
Puzzle box, you are puzzling.
Certainly puzzling. Now,
Pilgrim Putting
Probably going to see an
very
Edwin come down. And actually, considering the generous mummy there for a second, I think that's the only way you lose is allowing your opponent to play Reno or something into this, right?
Yeah.
They can't play Reno, so I don't think this generous mummy is going to come down. Because we're a turn away from playing Reno or any of the big, powerful, the puzzle
There's
box
a
off the top.
Tintin Edwin.
Oh yeah, can't play it. Okay.
Yeah, if the Shadow Step was going to come down, it should have come down earlier on the Faceless Slacky or something.
Right. Yeah.
But I think this is plenty of pressure as is on the board. We do have the Ray of Frost to slow down the Edwin Van Cleef at the very least, and the Frost Nova actually gonna do just that as well. We'll not be able to develop the Dragon Queen Alex along with that, but is Zephyrus ever anything better? What does Zephyrus give you here? You're one turn away from Twisting Nether.
What to do? What to do?
Give you death, but then you're still looking at a pretty scary board. Could still guarantee the death. That's also a possibility, but lots of things to consider.
I wonder.
So actually, we are going for that Zephyrus for the 4 mana. Could get a couple of different options.
We are going to see a Twisting Nether and a Mind Control. I think the Twisting Nether is the better of the options.
Yeah, I would say Shadow
Mind
Word Death would
Control.
be too.
Yeah, I think maybe Twisting Nether and then Frozen Shadow Weaver Eggo's face, I guess.
Is it
Yep.
cold in the shadow?
We are going to see drop here. We do have a stealth minion on board, so Greyheart Sage does get you that 2 draw.
Yeah, and with this hand, I definitely think that draw makes a lot of sense.
And there's
Kronk's
the
probably not going to come down this
No.
turn. It's not to
wait.
actually.
Maybe?
Could he do it twice and do the 5?
Could Shadow Step it, so could just make the board. Shadow Step and set up for a lethal next turn with the Kronks, right? You can double Kronks for 10 damage.
Yep. And with him being forced to play the
Twisting Nether, yeah, that's a
Nether.
really, really smart play there by Eggowaffle. Doesn't matter if I'm frozen.
you're going to die.
I think considering here,
Taunting?
yeah, I'm kind of curious about that actually, because now there's the risk of freezing yourself out of the board if another Frost Nova or something is discovered. Obviously, that's a really, really strange result that could happen.
I think we see the Dragon Queen Alex dropped here and hope to get Nazari.
Yeah. Nazari Deathwing or something.
I don't know, but something.
Yeah, gonna have to go for a miracle here. Ysera, pretty good as well, and a taunt, but
Not quite enough.
don't think, can clear up some of these minions, but with the Crocs, there's nothing to be done. No way to freeze up the entire board here to lock Eggo out of playing the Crocs. So we will be able to see a trade into a double Crocs, and that will be the game. So Eggowaffle gonna go up 2-0 with this secret Galcron Rogue taking a win here. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, but I'm sure Eggo knows. There's
Eggo knows.
plenty. There's more than enough. Several different ways. It's gonna show that he had it in the hand. It doesn't even matter what happened to my board, as long as you didn't freeze it and not kill anything. So now that will be game 2 going to Eggowaffle. Avi still has quite a few decks remaining.
Yeah, could be anything from Avi's end, but we know for a fact the only thing coming down from Eggowaffle is the Hunter.
Yeah, so only the Hunter remaining. So what would you pick into this Hunter with Avi's decks that he has to try to get through here? Definitely not the Mage, I think.
No, not the Mage. Maybe the Rogue, or just the Demon Hunter itself to just try to pressure and put a lot of damage as fast as possible. Because I mean, the deck still does run pretty quickly. But in the end, it's got to be either the rogue or the demon hunter. I don't think it can be the mage because the mage just runs too slow.
Yeah, I mean, Avi might say like the mage is the hardest one to get through, and I'm gonna have to do it at some point if I want to win this series. So might as well get it out of the way now instead of prolonging the series. But Avi's saying no. I want the points. I want the wins at the very least. Go with my best decks first, and hope that I can just get lucky that one time.
We do see the
with
Scavenger's
the
Ingenuity in Eggo's hand with Bone Wraith and Varanus. So we're probably going to see a Maul of Varanus Bone Wraith, keeping the Scavenger's Ingenuity. Oh,
Yeah,
we're going to see the full Maul.
Yeah,
from
actually,
Eggo.
not interested in that Scavenger's Ingenuity in this matchup, I think. Hoping to get a little bit more early pressure. It does come back to the hand, though, and the Zigzor being in hand means that we'll get only the Diving Griffin, which is a little bit awkward because I know we alluded to this before, but this is the one situation where it's kind of awkward in this type of matchup where there are only the Diving Griffin, and you don't really want to play it without playing your Zigzor first, so...
We are going to see it just dropped for that Diving Griffin to be a 6/3.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely play it. There's no other play this turn. It's just a little awkward now because you want to play your Zigzor before playing the Diving Griffin so you can guarantee that pull. But it's kind of awkward because you now have a buffed minion that is just sitting there for now.
Yep, we are going to see the Zigzor come down to clear up the 2/2.
Yeah, and that's pretty clean, so not going to be too upset, obviously, with the way the board state has gone so far. But now with the Satyr Overseer coming down, let's see. I think Avi has to trade into this, so this Diving Griffin could come down next turn just to deal with the bigger Satyr.
Yep. Does look like Eggo's considering 3 different lines here with the Dragon Bane, Kill Command, and the Diving Griffin as highlighted on the cards.
And actually, Avi deciding not to play the Sigil Runner here with the coin.
Saving that Sigil Runner for a rainy day where he needs a draw.
Yeah. A little bit awkward here for Eggo. Can play the Diving Griffin, like I said, does draw the Zigzor Prime, which will come in handy later, but is just a one-for-one trade into the 4/2, unless goes a little bit riskier and does a value trade, but I don't imagine in this matchup
We are going to see
doing that.
The tracking for mana efficiency.
Yeah, and these are definitely cards that Eggo was hoping to see early on in the game.
Yep. Pick up the Corrosive Breath because you have a dragon in hand, so it is active.
Sigil Runners on either side of the hand now.
I think you just play one of them.
Yeah, play the one off the top first, I imagine, and then follow that up with the other one because it's guaranteed to be outcast.
They will never catch me.
Yep, and
the I-beam off the top.
yeah, not really another I-beam off the top. But with where they are now, it's going to be a couple turns before those can be outcast again.
We do see the drop of the Chaos Strike, which pulls the Frozen Shadow Weaver as well.
And now a couple of interesting lines here. Could go for Unleash. Corrosive Breath deals with most of the board and keeps a 1/1 alive. Alternatively, Corrosive Breath in combination with the Aug Merchant clears a good amount of the board and still and you can hero power along with it. But I think
we do see the Unleash with the Chaos Corrosive Breath. Sending that one lone hound that remains in the board face. We are going to see the Warglaives get dropped here.
Yeah, the question is, do you feel the need to even deal with this? And
Avi does not.
Avi says, no, I'm not wasting a swing on a 1/1. Why do I care?
We are going to see the Dragon Bane drop down here for the Dragon Bane Hero Power to send 8 base.
Yeah, it's a pretty good play here for Eggo, able to survive up to this point at 18 health, and Zigzor Prime is only 2 turns away, and that can really seal the game if Avi isn't able to close things out. But with this Metamorphosis in hand, It could mean that Avi's just going to ignore the board besides probably this Dragonbane. Could play Metamorphosis coin, play the Metamorphosis end, and along with it, play the I-Beam to make sure that you can clear this Dragonbane with one swing. Instead of using the 5 damage, you can swing once, and I think that's exactly what we're going to see here. And no, actually not even going to play the Metamorphosis here, choosing to play a Battle Fiend. I don't know if I like that. I like doing 5 damage to face this turn because you put your opponent to 10, and you only need to find... Actually, with the Gladebound Adept, you don't even need to find any more damage. That would have set up 2-turn lethal. Now, we have out of hand, we only have 8, plus the 9, plus Gladebound is 13, so that's not enough. I really dislike not using the Metamorphosis last turn. That Battle Fiend is just not good enough.
Is it cold?
Yeah, I'm surprised. This is still quite a powerful situation to be in, right? But the maximum damage, like I said, has been reduced, and now.
But next turn he has.
Lethal.
Yep, yeah. Guaranteed lethal.
Yeah, he has lethal now, so it didn't actually end up hurting him, but could have guaranteed the lethal a turn earlier. And if Avi was short on damage, did not have this Gladebound Adept in hand, then this could have been the game as well. On the other side, there's enough pressure that Eggo could have taken it. So I'm actually surprised by the play by Avi, but not punished this time, getting the win here with the Demon Hunter. And that's 1 down. The Mirror and the Mage left to go. I expect the way that Avi played this game, choosing to go with the Demon Hunter, going for that more optimized game. I expect to see that Mirror here because I feel like the Mage is unfavored, and hoping to just do well in the Mirror and then maybe high roll that Mage game has to be the line here for Avi.
We won't see the Mirror because the Mirror is banned.
Oh, you're absolutely right. So excuse me. So yeah, so the Rogue is next. Yeah.
If you're wanting to pick up as many points as possible and just leave it down to that one game, that Rogue is what's coming down. Which even then, that's not completely favored, so it's kind of like 50-50.
None can escape my fury.
All right, and here comes the Rogue.
Begin.
Ooh, Dwarven Sharpshooter in the opening hand. That's the only card kept by Eggowaffle. Very quick maul. Obviously taking a little bit more time trying to decide on what he wants to do.
Yeah, not even considering the Fellwing at 3-2, probably not that appealing into a Rogue.
No. We do see him debating to keep the Seal of Fate. But it doesn't even look like he's considered even removing or keeping. I can't tell if he even clicked on the Dirty Tricks. So he's really debating that Seal Fate. Oh, he did highlight the tricks.
Really interesting speculation here. But actually going for that full mulligan in the end does end up with a little bit of a slower hand, but some good tools here if we are able to get to that point in the game.
We do see the newly nerfed Blackjack Stunner with a pass.
Ooh.
So
and this is quite a start. Could play 1-drop into coin 3-3 if Eggo wants to do that here.
Yeah, that could be a very strong opening for Eggo.
Especially given Avi's hand, the way we see it, it's quite slow and quite clunky, and I think pressure is the way to win this one. Although with that Battle Mage,
that Battle Mage pickup is gonna change that plan all around. Just gonna let him play the Battle Mage on 2. I mean, it floats 1 mana, but it's better than using up the coin that you can use to coin Bran on 6.
Absolutely, and I think that's definitely the trajectory that we are going in. With the Seal Fate, though, has to make a decision to clear off the 3 health. This 2 health minion, 3 health minion does oppose a bigger threat to Avi's own minions. So I like this play, although it does mean you're taking a little bit more damage from this Battle Mage. And now the choice is between the Spear and the Zixor, and Eggo wants more stats in play. I can't help but agree. There's that Dirty Tricks.
We could see Dirty Tricks get dropped here, because you know your opponent's not going to be playing too many spells, so you can almost guarantee that your Blackjack Stunner is going to put something back.
Interesting choices here.
Go with the wax.
I think you just Wax Dread, yeah. I mean, it's a decent
I
five.
know. Yeah, it's not
Faewing's
bad.
okay too,
You are drawing a lot, so it's not too bad to have that keep cycling every time it dies. Faewing's not bad. I think next turn we're probably playing Shield, so it's really a question of what we're doing the turn after, and if we want to Faewing that following turn, maybe that's a little bit better. If we want to fit 2 mana along with it, so yeah, I don't mind going for this.
We're going to see the Blackjack Stunner dropped right
Don't
here,
let the door
and
Yeah.
put Zixer back into hand. I don't know if I fully agree with that, but that is Avi's choice there.
Yeah, I think Avi's point of view here is stats in play at this point. Just really want to get the value if possible. And now Eggo has a choice here
I mean,
to play around Bamboozler or not.
we are going to see the Zixer dropped, but is he going to trade? He is going to end up trading into the Blackjack Stunner, removing it from the board.
And that will give him information, has narrowed down that spell, or that secret as Dirty Tricks. It can't be Ambush or Bamboozle after that attack, so he's going to know to play around the secret if possible. Now, one of those situations where...
Scavengers is looking very nice here.
Yeah, it's looking really good, but actually choosing to go for the Diving Griffin instead does not care about the extra stats on the Zixor Prime, would rather be able to clear off this 4-3 here and get some value off the Griffin.
You could have played it in reverse order and still dropped the, but I think he wants to coin out Desert Spear maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's his, I think that's what he's planning.
That is pretty awkward, though, because we were hoping to coin out that Bran, but...
yeah, that Bran on turn 6, which is next turn, so...
What's he gets punished if he doesn't use the coin right now? Which he's not.
Yeah.
He's just gonna
If
use
he does use the coin, that would leave Avi with 10 cards in hand, but still quite would not mill anything, and has quite a powerful situation. And now Avi's able to get that Togreggle off on 6 here because the lackey was not dealt with, and tricky situation, but
coin Bran.
You'll find me wherever the action
Which
is.
typically this 8 damage goes face every time. Yep.
oh, it's going
No
face,
question.
and
No question about it.
Avi at 10 cards can't even play this Wondrous Wand until removing some cards from hand, and none of these are that appealing. Obviously, Backstab going to come down to start, but a lot of these other cards are generating even more.
Well, we are going to see the drop of the Titanic Lackey, and
that
maybe,
will allow the Wondrous Wand to be played here.
Yep, the Wondrous Wand will get played, giving him 3 0-cost cards.
Kronks.
Kronks is a pretty powerful one, and Hanar with the
Yep.
yeah, can combine that with the ambush here. Praise Galakrond, I guess
High
is
Spirit to clear up the
yeah.
clear up the crush. And we are going to see the Kronks come down as well for the pull of the Galakrond. And an Edwin.
Yeah, big boy Edwin.
14.
14.
That was a crazy turn for Avi. A ton of pressure now.
We are
And-
going to see... No, never mind. I was like, are we going to see the Varanus and then into some sort of clear here? But I think we just see the Varanus come down anyways with him trading the 2-4 into the 14.
Yeah, I think that has to happen here, no question. And Avi at 3 invokes so far has 1 more in the hand. Could play the fully invoked Galakrond this turn, but a little bit too much in the hand again to get the value.
Yeah, we are going to see the praise come down. We do have another backstab in hand, emptying the hand enough to only burn 1 card. Which
Yeah,
is,
only burn 1 card. And Avi is certainly okay with that here.
we do
With
see
this kind of pressure.
Bamboozle, a shadow step, another shadow step.
Double Shadow Step picked up by the Galakrond. Certainly not what you want to see. A total discount there. What was the other card? Was a secret, right? So total discount off that Galakrun of 2. Not great. Not great at all. One of the worst sort of results there.
We are
Only card being pulled.
be pushed. The question is, do we return the Kronks to hand? And we are returning the Kronks to hand. So, yeah. So he is going to burn a card next turn, but he does have that active Kronks in hand. And a flick. So out of the cards left inside of your deck, I think Avi would rather have that Kronks ability over what
Avi
that you could burn.
lethal. On the way we use him though. Avi almost getting had on him the previous game.
We do not see the Zixer on 8, so we see a Bonecher and Eviscerate burn.
Yeah, Zixor would just lose to the Kronks, right? The Kronks we know is in hand, which could just get rid of all of the Zixor because it hasn't been buffed by the Scavengers ingenuity. So Eggowaffle was hoping to bait out the Kronks here to make sure that the Zixor can come down. But now with that second Shadow Step in hand, that means that Avi can just keep slow rolling it.
I think we will probably end up seeing the Feywing here, unless Avi decides that the Miscreant, which he did, was more valuable. Well, we'll see the Faceless Lackey drop that he got off of
Ooh, that's a little awkward. Oh yeah, I mean it doesn't really do anything.
Doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean the battle cry doesn't trigger, so the death rattle has nothing to put inside of your hand.
Yeah.
We are going to see the Shadow Step.
Yeah, and the Shadow Step will come down. Yeah, Avi knows that the Zixor is in hand. Going to be well aware that's the far right card. So making sure that he has an answer to it.
He's got 2 answers to it in hand currently, with Flick and Kronks both being in hand.
Wow, and the Winged Guardian.
Ooh, yeah, the Winged Guardian off of Pharaoh Cat at this point is very scary. With Zixer already being dealt with, basically, we keep seeing Eggo try to avoid playing it, but he can't do that much longer with the amount of pressure Avi is putting forward. We will see the Unleash the Hounds into the Overconfident work.
Trained for days.
He doesn't have any.
And I think Eggowaffle just trying to apply as much pressure here and maybe end this game before he gets blown out, and knows that Avi has a ton of resources and really just hoping to find maybe Zephyrus or Alex off the top to be able to push that last bit of damage. I think still considering if any of the trades are worth here, maybe the trading into the 2-1, but gonna be aware that the secret is Bamboozle here. And actually would rather Bamboozle the bigger minion. That's surprising to me. Rather than bamboozling one of the 1-cost minions, maybe this guarantees the 2-1 being traded into. I'm actually interested in that play. I'd be curious to ask Eggo why trade into the higher mana cost minion first in that situation when you know it's Bamboozle. You've played minions, so you know it's not. You know it's not.
We are going to see the domination. Is that lethal from Avi?
I think so.
Yep.
I believe that is lethal, and we are going to game 5. Avi making a big comeback here. This Hunter's struggling for Eggo here.
That last game, I think the 2 things that really cost it for Eggo was not playing that Scavenger's Ingenuity whenever it gave him value, and then right after the fact, and then also hitting into that that higher cost minion really did cost it for him.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have had to be a top deck next turn, but it still was quite a dire situation there for Eggo, so not too bad, but gonna have to try to find a win here. This is definitely the matchup that you want to win as the Hunter. needs a little bit more of an aggressive start, although these cards are very, very powerful. Mage Bran and Dragonbane both applying a ton of pressure if we can find some of that early game. On the other side of things, Frost Nova can slow down some of the pressure, but choosing to mulligan for a little bit more of that early game. Both players finding quite a good amount.
Yep. We do see the Scavenger Ingenuity pull from Eggo.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, do you use the coin here to drop the Bone Chewer because you already have another 2-drop play, or do you just drop the Og Merchant as a 2-1? I mean,
it does just get pinged, and that's really what they want to do on 2. So I don't like the Og Merchant. I think the consideration here is whether
or not that coin is what you want to do.
I think I like the Brawler here, because next turn you can just Og Merchant it, and it does a ton of damage. That's a ton of pressure very quickly into Mage, which is what you want to be doing.
Yeah.
So I'm actually surprised we don't see that Bone Chewer Brawler and Eggowaffle deciding against it. I'm surprised.
I think he's holding that coin again for that Bran on 6.
Yeah, I definitely respect that, but the pressure of an early Bone Chewer Brawler that, you know, what does the Mage do to deal with that with 2 mana? There's no card in the deck, and then you can guarantee that Og Merchant coming down and buffing it into a 4/2 with a Divine Shield. That's also hard to deal, and just put that early pressure on now. Slowed a lot of things down. Although this Zixor is a lot of pressure. A 4/6 is pretty good. Probably better than a 4/2 with Divine Shield, I suppose. But it just means that there's one turn that this could have gone face that now we are missing out on.
That Bone Chewer could have... no, it wouldn't have been pinged. He would have pinged face. But if it could have been a 6/1 if for some reason Avi pinged the Bone Chewer.
Yeah, I think it could have dealt damage last turn and this turn, so that could have been 8 to face with the Bone Chewer, I believe.
Yep.
Now we're gonna have to
decide.
decide.
The diving Griffin played here to clear up that 4/6. I mean, it's 2 over. You're clearing up. You're putting 8 attack on board, but I think we're just gonna see the Feywild drop, which is what does end up happening here, and 4 damage does get sent face.
Yeah, as the Hunter, I think you just want to be applying that pressure and just keep it up as much as possible. Now,
a much better trade here for Avi into the 4/4, dropping that 2/5, forcing Eggowaffle to have to trade that 5/2 into the 2/5 to even remotely clear it.
And now the Diving Griffin can pull that Zixor Prime at the very least here. Is a little bit awkward to use though into this board, because are we gonna have to coin the Desert Spear just to be able to clear a good portion of this easily?
I think that's what's going to end up happening here, because that's the only way you're getting rid of more than just that 2/5.
Yeah, and so doing it this way allows the 4/5 to be dealt with, or 5 face damage to be utilized potentially. And we are going to see the 5 go face. Yeah, and it does allow you to play the Frenzied Fellwing, so I do like that play. It is at risk of a Reno. Reno could really shut out the game here potentially, but we do not see that in hand for Avi.
We do see a we do see Zephyrus.
Yeah, Zephyrus could do it too. There's quite a few.
Easy holy some sort of holy Nova
Twin Strike or
Cleave.
Cleave, that's what I meant. Yeah, Cleave.
Yeah, Cleave. That just easily takes care of the board that we're seeing
Cleave.
right now.
What's the Demon Hunter one that does 2 and heals?
Soul
Cleave. It's also Cleave, right? Cleave and Soul Cleave. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think those are the 2 things you're gonna see offered from Zephyrus, and I think you're a very happy camper if you get either. And we are going to see the Holy Nova.
Yeah, Holy Nova does heal up the Twilight Drake, which is pretty nice.
Yep. And that is what Avi's going to pick here. Clearing up that board and sending 8 damage face again. now being 23-20 health-wise for both players.
Yeah, I think if Avi was hoping to get the cleave, could have pinged, but I suppose healing your Twilight Drake for 2 is better, and yourself for 2 is better than a ping to face just to get the cleave.
We do see the Animal Companion off top from Eggowaffle in tandem with the Bonjour Brawler for double taunts.
Despite this awkward start, I mean, it's still a lot of pressure for Eggowaffle. And that Zixor Prime can come down next turn, or excuse me, that Bran into Zixor Prime in the next 2 turns that can just continue to apply that pressure. So, now the question for Eggo is, do you want to trade off a 2/2 to get rid of this Twilight Drake as well, or do you want to push that 2 damage face? Yeah, and I think, yeah, clearing off the 2 health Twilight Drake is probably a good call here. Still able to push that 8 damage.
We'll see
know
Malagos of Magic being pulled off the top deck and played here. For the, I guess you take the Fireball?
Fireball does just clear off the Kronks or excuse me, the Crush.
Yeah. We will see Zixer drop right here. But we do see that the Blizzard in hand does take care of a lot of this pressure just by mitigating it for another turn, allowing...
Yeah, and with the Doomsayer in combination, there's really no great way for Eggo to deal with this.
Other than he would have to use Kill Command for 5 and somehow find another 2 damage, which he does not have.
One off with the Unleash the Hound. So actually gonna clear off this board. Now the question is,
I think we just play the Dragon Queen to get the free dragons, or do we save it?
I don't. I think we just save it, right? It's the same as doing it this turn or next turn because it just dies. So I'd rather just do it next turn. The question is really, do we launch this Kill Command? But we have the Unleash the Hounds to always guarantee it almost, as long as there's a minion on the opposite side of the board. So that 5 surprise damage could be good, but Eggo saying, I wanna do it now.
Wants to freak his opponent out, maybe force him into a position to play the Amazing Reno before that Dragon Queen Alexstrasza has been dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't a Grand Slam in the deck, so there is a potential to die here if the Grand Slam is played.
But we are going to see the Caligos dropped so that he can play Power of Creation as a follow-up, hoping to maybe pull something that heals or even just puts up taunts inside of the way. Yeah,
and actually, Avi able to survive long enough here that Eggo is in a tough position.
It can go either way right now.
Yeah, Zephyrus would be lethal for Eggo.
Are we going to see? I don't think the Deep Freeze is the way to go. I think you want to play the Power Creation.
Yeah, what else is lethal for Eggo off the top here?
The Grand Slam, because the Grand Slam can just target face,
right?
Even over any taunts.
Yeah, and the Grand Slam can do it.
I think.
Wow.
Because
gotta be Zephyrus now.
Because you had the Dragon Queen Alex in hand, and I don't remember if the Corrosive Breath has been played this game. Corrosive Breath came down as well here. And put him into a position where
that's pretty awkward dragons, but it is still pretty good. And that's actually going to be lethal for Avi with that Fireball. And Avi able to sweep this Highlander Hunter and find the win. I was doubting it, but Avi playing really smart and able to find wins in difficult situations.
Yeah, it was close. See if I can get a quick interview here.
Crazy close. And Avi gonna be moving on to the finals to play Heat Shock. Eggowaffle not out of it completely yet. Gonna fight for 3rd place against R-Hat as well. The 2 remaining matches for THL March Madness. March, April, May. Madness, whatever. What a series. I think we are just waiting here, trying to see if Avi is available. While we wait... Oh, no, we're good. It's coming in. Avi!
Hello. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, congratulations. What
Oh.
a series. Able to sweep the Highlander Hunter. Some very, very close games.
Yeah, game 2 had me freaked out just thinking about like whether I should have picked a different thing off power creation, if that could have let me push more damage face. Thinking about the fireball that was 50-50 to win me the game that went at my own face instead of his. Oh.
Yeah, what a series of games. Man, just back and forth, very, very close. What was your favorite moment of that series?
Oh, I mean, the turn where I had to Tortolid for a Yog box was like crazy. I had so many options that turn, and I wasn't sure how to do any of them. Like,
Yeah.
I decided not to send the Escape Mana Saver face because I thought if I got like a Flame Ward or something, I might want to hit my opponent's guy. But then I got the box, and I was like, well, box is probably better. And then I lost my Mana Saver and couldn't send it face, and I was just missing a little bit of damage, and it was just crazy. That game was kind of insane.
Yeah, quite an absolute series. But yeah, tell me a little about your lineup here. Obviously, we've started this in April, I guess it was exactly when we started it. So it's been a little bit of time, and we've seen a couple of nerfs since then. Both of you running suboptimal lists to the current meta. How did it feel kind of navigating those nerfed cards and playing into again nerfed cards on the other side?
Mm-hmm. Well, so we had to submit our lineups right after an earlier round of nerfs, which
Right.
was pretty interesting. So I kind of just ended up, submitting a lot of decks that I didn't have a lot of experience with. I think I got really lucky to have chosen like Highlander Hunter and Highlander Mage, which I think are both very strong decks that translated very well through even the most recent round of nerfs. So that's gonna help me out going forward from this point. I hadn't found Warrior at that point, even though it was widely considered one of the best decks of that meta, at least, like a week later.
Yeah.
But Eggo he had the Bomb Warrior, which actually looks even better after the most recent round of nerfs, which
Yeah.
is pretty crazy. So I had to ban that. I banned it because I didn't think he was going to ban my Demon Hunter because my Demon Hunter had the nerf cards in it. If I thought that
Right.
he was going to ban my Demon Hunter, which was the other reasonable ban, then I may have had to ban his Demon Hunter, but I also didn't really want to do that. So we both left up the double nerf Demon Hunters, the classic Warglaves and Priestess builds.
And and then you played them
yeah.
both game one, and Eggo didn't see a single of the nerf cards. You had a couple
Oh
in
my
hand.
god.
A little bit awkward, but you were able
My
to.
opener was not good. I couldn't do anything.
But you were able to keep a level head and
Mhm.
sweep that Highlander Hunter. Eggo finding quite a few awkward draws, having both the Ingenuity and Diving Griffin several times with the Zixor, sometimes even in
Mhm.
almost all those games.
I
But
think
yeah.
games 2 and 3, I had a couple of rough moments where I made some misplays, but I feel pretty good. I feel like I steadied myself heading into game 4, and I think the last 2 games I rounded out pretty well. Although you never know until you look at the replays.
Yeah, I think there was one play that I saw when you won with your Demon Hunter. Actually, I think you could have set up for lethal a turn earlier if you had played the Metamorphosis instead of the.
I was talking about that too.
Yeah,
I was thinking how I should have sent a Metamorphosis shot face earlier than I did. I was going to do that, and then for some reason at the last second I decided to play Battle Fiend, and then realized that I would have had lethal the next turn.
Yeah, I was like 5 damage this turn, and then you have 5 next turn, so that's 10 over 2 turns, or a 2/2 this turn. That is probably going to be dealt with. Yeah.
But I got the double attack value. It was 3/2. It's crazy.
It's true. You're right. It was a 3/2. My mistake. My mistake. A 3/2 that is going to be dealt with versus 5 damage guaranteed over, or 10 damage over 2 turns.
Yeah, it was great to see that come back there for sure.
Yeah, how you feeling going into the finals against?
Ooh. I'm excited for them. I'm glad that my deck lists have translated so well. I know that a lot of people were not so lucky to have their deck list feel good a few weeks into the tournament. I know Liquidox was another player who brought Warrior, but I think everybody who brought Warrior didn't really have the builds that people had in more recent weeks. So I know like Liquidox's had Cruel Taskmaster, and he was complaining about that a little bit, although I think his warrior still got banned a lot because it's still extremely powerful. It's yeah, I'm thankful for that, and I'm excited to play against Heatshot because he's a great player and somebody I enjoy playing against a lot.
Absolutely. I feel like I've monopolized this interview. Saku, Silver, you got any questions here for Avi?
No,
No,
I think you covered a lot of the bases.
Pretty much.
All right.
Just a very
Sorry about.
very impressive win.
Oh well, thank you. Oh, I thought you meant my interviewing was very
No,
impressive.
no.
Yeah, Avi, forget it. You had a win, whatever. I'm the highlight of this. I interviewed you so well.
We're
Great job.
No one I would rather have cast me than Mayanadon himself.
Aw.
See?
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for coming on, and congratulations again on the win, and good luck in the finals.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
You too. All right, Saku, tell him what we have coming up next for him.
We have Mr. The Big Ted, one of our fellow casters here for Friday Night
Mr. The
Fights.
Big Ted.
Yep, and then we have FreeHongKong, aka Pond. Those two have been hanging out in menu right now, so I don't know. They haven't given me bans yet, but I told them to let me know what they're doing. So yeah, this Legacy Gold Conference, Legacy Series Gold Conference, with FreeHongKong bringing Hunter, Mage, Rogue, and Warrior versus Ted's Demon Hunter, Druid, Hunter, and Warrior. So double warrior ban, you think, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. It's still been quite a favorite. I think some people starting to ban Hunter a little bit too as well, and some other options, but Warrior is still, I think, the favorite. This match though has quite a lot of implications. Actually, always top deck lethal Pond's team currently in first place in the Gold Conference, but down 2-8 on this series against the Stubbs, who were, I believe, towards the middle, lower middle actually of the standings right now. So with that 8-2 lead over ATL, really, really good start for the Stubbs, and Pond hoping to right the ship here with the win over Ted. Ted hoping to continue that streak and maybe take down the #1 team with a win here.
Listen to Mayanadon bringing the heat with all the tense
Yeah, you got to build the storylines, man. It's all about the storylines. What's going on here in this series? It's not about just this match. There's a whole team out there who's just, really banking on this to go well for both of these players or one of these players, depending on who.
If Ted has an impressive showing inside of this match, it could mean that ATL shut out for the week entirely.
Yeah, could seal it here with a commanding win.
Yeah. If you see another a 3-1 or a 3-0, I don't see many ways that ATL pulls it back. Because they already have had one sweep this week.
The only way that ATL would stay in the week would be a 2-3 loss if they were to lose, and that would, even then, that would only potentially lead to a tie, right? If the other two matches are sweeps. Yes. So really important match, especially for ATL here, but obviously for the Stubbs, they could seal it. So both teams really banking on a good match here, and I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Fans?
Yeah.
Anybody said
give them to me.
Double Hunter ban?
Double Hunter ban. Okay, yeah. See, we did say that Hunter has been banned a little bit, so maybe double warrior ban isn't happening. So double Hunter ban we are going to see for Pond / FreeHongKong, the Mage, Rogue, Warrior, and for Ted, the Demon Hunter, the Druid, and the Warrior. So quite a variation there. The only same class on either side being that Warrior.
Players to get rock and roll, but yeah, your Warrior mirror should.
Any predictions on these the first classes now?
Demon Hunter.
I think we're gonna see. Maybe we see like an early Druid even. From Ted. with Druid kind of being, I think a little bit more. Hasn't it been a little bit stronger as of recently with the fall of Demon Hunter?
Yeah, certainly has been a little bit better. Warrior still has some good tools, and Mage though to deal with some of those boards. So in the current specific matchup, I'm less excited about the Druid, but it still can have some really big turns if it gets those early game boards. Are we in here? Let's see.
Yeah, so the players are in game now. So we're going to spec Big Ted first to bottom, and we have FreeHongKong.
Right, I am just jumping in here. What classes do we have? Are you in yet?
We have a Druid into a Warrior.
All right, so it is that Druid first. For Ted, the deck you were just talking about, and for FreeHongKong, we have the Warrior. It does appear to be Enraged Warrior, some variety of it, and
like
Spell Druid on the other side.
Spell Druid. So Spell Druid does run Ysera. Interesting.
Yes, yeah. Spell Druid has been running Ysera recently.
I've not seen too much of this deck, so it will be quite interesting to see it again. Like I haven't seen it since the early part of the meta. Whenever it was completely busted, and you had
Fung of Fortunes is in hand, and I think we're going to see that come out here. Hoping to maybe get an Overgrowth, and there it is. That is exactly the start that you want. The only thing missing right now would be the Glowfly Swarm to follow up. But actually, Pond playing the Armor Smith, I understand that play. This matchup is very much about getting stuff on the board as the Warrior, but with the Risky Skipper in hand, I'm actually a little surprised because that's one of your best ways to deal with those early boards. Although Pond just deciding, I'm going to win the board here and apply pressure and not even let you have a chance to get on the board. Now, Ted, I think a pretty easy play.
Yeah, pretty easy Overgrowth, but I don't know if I agree with attacking the Armor Smith before the Wormhole Challenger. You would have gotten, I guess you get the same amount of hits no matter what, but you save health on that Armor Smith that it's not easily cleared off.
Yeah,
like it just was.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this start of the game a little. I think Pond likes to go for the tempo or first and foremost. Even with that Risky Skipper in hand, does not even want to let Ted have a chance to get on the board. And just apply as much pressure as fast as possible. Now with this Corcoran Elite, even considering the come down, and it is coming down, we do see a Bog Beam that can just answer that for 0 mana next turn, along with an Overgrowth. Or now with the Mount Seller, this can be quite a play.
Yep. We are going to see the Mount Seller dropped here with the Ironbark going on to the Mount Seller and the Bog Beam going into.
And hitting a Mukla, that's a pretty good beast that you can get off of that.
Yeah,
and suddenly the other side of the board is looking very, very powerful. Ted, FreeHongKong, considering the Skipper here, can get the Skipper and a Bomb Wrangler with the Battle Rage's turn along with the coin. I think that is what we're going to see. Just needs to find some way to deal with this. And with that Battle Rage and 6 minions hurt, not quite enough actually to play any of the Brutes, not even finding them actually, so not going to make too much of a difference here. But with this Mount Seller staying alive, this is just going to continue to build a strong board, and with the Soul of the Forest to combo with it.
Ooh, and the Glowfly Swarm off the top.
Yeah, and I think just get rid of the Skipper and remove the potential for just big board wipes. And I think Ted is looking to be in a very, very commanding position here. 6 minions, actually going for a full board here, not even wanting to hoping to just get even more value and actually trading. I'm surprised with this kind of board. I'm sending it all face. Let them deal with this. But with this setup, the Savage Roar should do it next turn. And more trading. I'm really surprised by this, but
I mean, he's trying to keep as much of that board alive as possible. He doesn't want anything to clear it up.
Yeah, I suppose. Really in need of that second Skipper, but no way to really combo with it anyway. And FreeHongKong not even going to try to do anything here. Very, very difficult board. And we see the Savage Roar on the other side, even if some of it was dealt with. So that is going to be game 1 to that Druid.
Yep. See, that's just the sheer power of Druid showing itself that it's like, yeah, you can play whatever you want, but I'm just gonna build up this big board, and if you don't have an answer for it, we just win.
Yeah.
So
now Ted only has the Demon Hunter and the Warrior remaining, right? It was a double hunter ban. So
yep. So Demon Hunter Warrior. So do we just see the Demon Hunter pulled out here trying to get that quick win, or will we see the Warrior maybe hoping for the mirror?
yeah, I think the way that FreeHongKong played that, I might expect that Warrior coming out again. So if Ted has that read, I might lean towards the Warrior just to get a little bit more of a a mirror and get the 50-50 rather than the Demon Hunter, which is slightly unfavored.
Yeah.
All right, just waiting for the players to select here. Very big win there, though, to start getting that Druid down, which I think was one that had a chance to struggle if the Warrior had the right cards and the right draw.
FreeHongKong did not stay with the Warrior. He moved on to Mage, while Ted did pull out the Warrior, maybe thinking, maybe my opponent's going to bring out this Warrior, and that did not end up happening. So
yeah, and actually really smart by FreeHongKong there, getting another matchup that you're not too upset about facing it after the nerfs.
The question here is, does Ted run the bomb package? Because that can really change the match as well.
Yeah.
Your wish is my
Based on the current hand, I would say no, but we'll see. With the Corsair cache, a lot of times those Tolmirs kind of phased out as well. With the Wrench Caliber, that is actually it is the bomb package, and
so
facing the Mage.
The Mage run into a little bit of trouble here with
Double
Highlander
Wrench
being turned off this game.
Yeah, with the double Wrench Caliber in hand too, couldn't they even see one being coined out here just to start the swings?
Highly plausible, and we are going to see that just dropped right here, clearing up the 3-2 on board.
Yeah, with all these swings available to the Wrench Calibers, that's a ton of damage in bombs over time. That's 15 just from this one, and another 10 from the other Wrench Caliber, and that's just from the bombs if they do happen to be drawn.
Pawn playing that early Zephyrus is actually going to play out for him, because if he had held it, he wasn't going to get the ability of Zephyrus until much later in the game, if even.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will see the drop of the Andrew Tolvir and the Rich Caliber face for 4.
Yeah. Just more bombs in the deck. That's 2 down. Now all of those Highlander cards are deactivated for now. We do see the Reno in hand. Not that I thought it would come down. Does mean that it's not going to have a chance to do its battle cry for quite a while, if at all.
We do see another injured Tolvir picked up off the top. And we are going to see the trade into the 3-4, putting that third bomb into the deck.
And actually, going to go for the Brute here just to clear up everything. Use the Inner Rage, even though the Bloodsworn's in hand, just wanting to clear up the board. I don't know if I agree with that play. There's a lot of things that the Mage can do to answer just one minion, and at 5-8.
CMAC come down with a Divine Shield Rush for an easy clear on this 5-4, leaving up just a 6-6 on board.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Rampage picked up as well. That could have comboed with the Bloodsworn and the Inner Rage quite well later, but now a little bit awkward. Not a good way to deal with this. Could equip another Wrench Caliber and just start swinging some more, and hope that these bombs.
Which is what we're going to end up seeing. We're going to see that Wrench Caliber going phase.
Yeah, now 4 bombs in the deck, so a lot, and there 3 bombs left in the deck.
3 bombs left in the deck now.
There's that puzzle box.
Yep, that Yogg box pulled off the top. We may just see the Arcane Intellect drop down here, because
Rolling Fireball.
You still have a lot of cards in the deck, so those bombs are pretty well hit.
And there is another Corsair cache. We'll be able to draw the Ankar that I believe is remaining in the deck. Alternatively, looks like Ted is thinking of just playing the Bloodboar Brute for 7 just to get rid of the 2-5 and maybe contest the Tiamat a little bit, but
with rolling Rolling Fireball in hand, we can see that that's not the case. The Rolling Fireball should just be dropped here on the 5/6, which it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Both brutes played before Risky Skipper even comes down on the board.
Yeah.
Could have had some really big boards potentially with Rampage, with the Bloodsworn. Now, however, with the Skipper, gonna be able to copy this Bomb Wrangler.
Get a lot of bombs on board.
Pretty powerful here, but at 11 health, this does not look like a mage game. The Warrior actually falling quite far behind.
With the
oh, another bomb
bomb
coming down though.
another bomb.
Another bomb, and
That
how
leaves
many
one
more?
bomb inside, that leaves two bombs.
No, there's
inside
two
of the
more
deck.
bombs.
There's
Two more bombs in the deck, but at 8 health, this is getting pretty scary. Actually, gonna feel like
Have to play
the Reno has to come down.
Yep.
Disappear.
But the Imprisoned Observer does not go away because it is dormant. So
Yeah.
he still does have technically a minion on board next turn.
Yeah, and Ted forced to use the Ankar here. There are 2 bombs in the deck, so with this Ankar swing, there's a chance that FreeHongKong just dies here. There is a chance, and actually decided to play the Tolbir, even though it will go down to 1 health, feeling okay about that, would rather have a minion on the board just to keep applying some pressure potentially, especially with that Rampage available. Now,
We are
Corsair
going to see
Cash
Corsair
does
Cash.
not do anything for
And
Reno
an
on the other side.
An unfortunate Dragon Queen top deck that still is off because of bombs in deck. A nice Flame Strike or Cone of Cold. Maybe Counterspell even, just to block out nope, we
It's
are going to see
Yogbox time.
So we're starting with a sack pack.
Sack pack. Wow, that is an idea.
That's
That
the
is a
one
demon.
Yeah, that's the one demon.
That is a big heal, actually, in this matchup. That does mean that the bombs are not going to be enough here to clear, but there's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, Frost Nova, Frostbolt, where does this go? This could be very important, and it does clear that off. Dirty Tricks come down. Mine,
And
misdirection.
And another
And another.
Thought I had more time.
With the Repentance, Dirty Tricks, Noble Sack in the way, actually, of this swing. Might actually make a big difference. That's 2 damage as well, so just on the board. Ted at quite a low. Oh no,
It's a
it could
misdirect.
swing into the 4. Oh, it does go
it's going
face
to
though.
face.
What a sequence of events. Does not find the skipper. The second skipper needs to find that second skipper in combination with this Armor Smith. It's going to be able to have a chance here. And Ted just ripping more and more minions actually here. Not playing the Armor Smith here too. Just playing everything. I guess. I don't like playing the Armor Smith here, though. You guarantee the skipper next turn.
We see the
You need the armor.
the Ice Barrier played off of the Reno Hero Power, and a Power Creation pulled off top, so he is going to get to play 2 4/5 Wind Fury Rushers
Wow.
and clear up the entire board with the Flame Strike. This
Yeah, and I
almost
think
looks
that's-
all but sealed.
I think that's going to be it. Some of these plays, I don't know. I think just playing too much tempo and not really utilizing the big power of this deck.
You do see the green skin to buff the Ankar, sending it face, but we do know that that's going to pop the Ice Barrier,
It's
putting
going to
him
meet.
even further away.
Yeah.
which Ted just
Ted aware that even the 2 bombs in the deck being pulled off the top would not be enough. And that's going to be the win going to FreeHongKong there with the mage. So now for
So-
Pond / FreeHongKong, I don't know what to call him. I
Just call
keep
him.
struggling, jumping
I
back and
just-
forth.
think it's just easier to call him Pond.
I know,
Uh,
but then it's confusing to people out there that
Yeah,
just see
yeah,
the
yeah.
name on the screen. So I try to keep it,
Yeah.
as possible.
Well, with the mage went down, that just leaves up the Rogue Warrior. Do we see the Riku on the Warrior from Ted, or are we going to see the Demon Hunter pulled out here? What do you think, Mayanadon?
I think I just go for the Warrior again as Ted. You got that one bad matchup out of the way, and now it's just a 50-50 or a somewhat favorable, and the Demon Hunter on the other side is a favorable and unfavorable. So it's kind of rolling the dice there. Whereas if the warrior loses to the other warrior, you know, you still have 2 solid matchups remaining into the rogue. So I kind of like, you know, trying to win that warrior game and hoping that can take you through to the victory.
I definitely agree with you there. The warrior stick is probably the better of the two because you do not want to run into a warrior with that demon rider.
Versus Garrosh.
Warrior mirror it is.
There we go. So we do know Ted's running the bomb version, which I think might be a little bit worse into the mirror, but
It is a little bit worse into the mirror. It was before the nerfs came out. I know that for certain. Haven't been checking stats as of recently, but
double Corsair cache on Ted's side. Free
good,
Hong Kong though.
good turn 2 pull for that. We are going to see the coin dropped here for the Corsair's cache.
Wow, that's an early coin for a Corsair cache here.
Pulling
I'm
that live wire lance.
surprised.
I get to play next turn.
I don't like that. I'd rather coin 3 into 3, and if we're gonna use the coin here early.
Yeah.
Now again, Free Hong Kong just not valuing these armor smiths, just using them as tempo.
We do see the we are probably going to see the Ankar play. If we don't, we're going to see the Wormhole Challenger, which I think is strictly worse. So we are going to see the
yeah, I'm really surprised by these early armor smiths. Gonna be okay in this situation with the rampage available, but still kind of an awkward. I don't know. I mean, it just, yeah.
Someone's got to lead the charge.
It is pressure, but now, you know, we're kind of, I don't know. We'll see what happens here.
We are
Gonna
going
be
to see
able to clear this up with the
swing
challenger.
the challenger.
Actually,
Oh,
go
wait.
for this skipper, just to
Challenger
guarantee.
to-
Yeah.
So the battle cry on the Wormhole Challenger does trigger before the risky skipper goes off. We are going to see the live wire lance here, but he's going to trade into the 1-7
Wow.
instead of the 1-2.
What?
I do not agree.
This has been an interesting series of warrior games.
We are going to see the rampage put onto the current 1-4, making it a 4-7 and copy, putting them both down to 4-6s. But as Ted, you're looking really favorable with your opponent really having no way to deal with these big minions that are on board.
Yeah, really, actually, no way, like you said, to deal with these, and still no skippers on Free Hong Kong side, choosing to use the buffed live wire over the Ankar. So now kind of running low on ways to deal with this. The root can come down, but again, it doesn't even deal with one of these 4-6s by itself.
It's like you're trying to find some sort of lackey here. I don't know what lackey would be best, but
Yeah.
I feel like that Titanic lackey is really what you're looking for here. With the wrench caliber that we can see in hand, being able to pretty much deal with anything but the Blood Boil Brute, even with a Titanic lackey, all you have to do is play wrench caliber and trade. Why? I don't understand why the bomb wrangler was played here.
It does mean that you guarantee 2 bombs, right? Because the skipper has to go in if you want to clear it. But now this is just a great battle rage. Actually, gonna overdraw. Did not choose to.
My hand is.
Yeah, I think that's.
I mean, it's fine.
It's probably fine in this situation. Now with the rampage drawn does mean you can guarantee just the 1 bomb. I'm surprised the skipper didn't go in to something. I'd rather, I think, keep a 2-1 alive, but
coming down to give you a bunch of armor.
a ton of health. That bomb hitting for 1 does mean that the brute can go in.
Yep.
Drink your blood. Eat your flesh.
But again, and that's the second armor smith for Pond, so no other ways to heal after this. Beyond just like hero powering. And no big giant heals.
The other Bloodsworn Mercenary is in hand, so we could see another copied Wormhole Challenger just right here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that come down. And even, I don't know, do you ever... Gonna
We're
go
gonna
with the
go
Corsair
with
cache
cache.
first. There's
That was
no.
an error.
Yeah,
No, I don't. Yeah,
I don't know.
He didn't realize he had them both in hand. I would assume, considering he emoted that it was.
Yeah, I was
here.
hoping maybe for the 4 damage, I guess, but interesting. And actually going to use the inner rage there, so
Yep.
a little bit of an awkward play, but
In the end, he still gets the board cleared and has a 4/4 and a 1/2 on board, pulling that Sky General Crag. Not the best pirate you can pull, but still a pretty good one with it being taunt and a 2/3.
and now the Ankar finally coming down here. Does have a 50-50 chance probably to draw a skipper. Oh no, with the
Captain Green Screen.
yeah, it's actually lower than that.
Yep. But we do see the Corcoran Elite off. The,
Ooh, and that would have been lethal with the inner rage. If the inner rage was able to be held on to, that would have been enough. Or no, that would have been one off actually.
The Cobalt Sticky Fingers played here.
Yeah. What?
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, quite an interaction here, and Ted looking to be in a pretty good position here to finish things off.
We do see the Bomb Ringer pulled off the top for FreeHongKong. We are going to see a destroyed weapon.
It's only the Livewire Lance. The Ankar was not destroyed on the other side.
Loot? What more can I ask
So
for?
actually, no good way to draw because he didn't play the Ankar early. There's no good way to draw the skippers, and they're just sitting in the deck with no way to combo them right now.
But the Fin Creeper coming down here off of that Evolve was actually pretty good for free Hong Kong, because it avoids some damage. That
with that skipper available now, that should be lethal. You can just skipper, cork run, and copy it.
Oh yes.
Now though, missing out on lethal. That was lethal. Skipper, cork run, copy. It would have been 8 damage off of those. 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh no, that would have still been short. We didn't have mana for Wrench Caliber as well, did we? Wait, skipper. Cork run is 5. No, we wouldn't have had mana for Wrench Caliber, so that was short. But still, what? No. What? Now you're just clearing your own board?
Yeah.
What? What is this? Why would you kill all your minions?
I don't know.
What?
Because you're there.
Mayanadon, you can if Ted somehow wins this, you can give him all of your complaints.
Ted, why did we kill all our minions there for a bomb? You could have waited on that and applied pressure. You had plenty there. You knew he only drew 1 pirate, and you saw it was the green skin.
We are going to see the Witchy Lackey played here to change that into a 4/5.
All right.
The Boom Squad trying to discover yourself another lackey.
All right, what dragon can we find here?
Well, I think we've seen 2 Onyxias so far. And
And actually inner rage on the bomb. This is right. Okay. Does end up hitting a minion there, but okay. How much damage do we have this turn? With the Wrench Caliber. Oh, we're copying it and just going wide, and a lot of times this is good enough.
Oh wait, this might.
This could just do it. With the Wrench Caliber with 3 extra damage, there's a good shot. No, both bombs going there, but Wrench Caliber. There are now going to be 3 bombs in the deck for FreeHongKong, so one of those top deck would just be lethal here. 3 out of the 18 cards in deck. Not one of those, though.
Not such a great hand here. I mean, you have to play the Hellscream, and looks like he's trading it in, leaving Ted just 2 points, 2 damage.
Yeah, with the Corcoran, though, that will do it. The Corcoran off the top.
Yep,
and
that is a win for Ted.
Yeah, finding the critical win with the Bomb Warrior into the Enrage Warrior. Quite an interesting selection of plays this series, but does end up working out here for Ted at the end.
Gonna be in there.
And now, and now Ted only has that Demon Hunter remaining. I imagine FreeHongKong is going to play the Warrior one more time, hoping to actually capitalize on that Demon Hunter, but we'll see. So far, Pond has really liked playing that Armor Smith quite early in the game before even getting value off of skippers. So we'll see if that does change. I think getting the value off of the Armor Smith in this matchup is very, very important getting those big clears on the 2 health minions can be huge. So we'll see if the FreeHongKong does change the game plan a little bit in this matchup to accommodate that.
Or if FreeHongKong just decides to not even pull out the warrior because he's been razzled by the two losses and just pulls out the rogue, putting himself into a less than favorable matchup.
It's certainly possible, but I do think pretty mild-tempered, very calm players. So not too surprising. Just keep playing, play your matchups, and hope it works out a little better this time around. This start actually choosing to keep the Spectral Stride. It is outcast, but
an interesting starting hand with the Aug Merchant and Battle Fiend on coin. Spectral Sight also being in hand. Ooh, and we're going to see the Blazing Battle Mage off top, which is just better.
I wouldn't be surprised if we just coin the Battle Fiend as well, and actually choosing not to.
We do see the Armor Smith getting dropped early.
It is just dropped.
Where it's kind of necessary to have that Armor Smith with the I-Beam punish right here.
Yeah, it's a big punish potential here. Let's see what Ted decides to do, and yeah,
which is it's going through. He's
going actually going to use the coin as well. Gonna just clear up the whole board.
Yep.
Yeah, just hero power, I believe.
Oh, hero power, not the Aug.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Aug Merchant's probably the better play. You're getting more stats on the board, but I certainly understand going this direction as well.
Are we going to see the? We're going to see the Corsair catch here dropped on 3, and pulling that Livewire Lance.
And now the Aug Merchant probably going to fall onto, it's going to hit the Battle Fiend. And, I'm actually surprised by the hero power. I would have rather seen the Spectral Sight come down. This extra 2 damage is probably not going to make a big difference, and I'd like more stuff in my hand and utilize my mana, but Ted deciding to push that extra damage and keep applying pressure, also not a bad line.
I'm guessing Ted's just seeing that Spectral Sight's always active in his hand, so he's in no real rush to play it here. The Livewire Lance is dropped, giving his South Sea Deckhand charge, which is another. Oh, that was created off Skyraider. I was like, that's another.
Yeah.
If that's Ran, that's
no. Yeah, that was off the Skyraider. Okay, now able to use the Spectral Sight and working out quite well to hold on to it. Yeah.
So
it's
the
a
hero
very
power
powerful
sending 7. Yeah, sending 7
damage
space.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage here, and still no skipper. There it is. I spoke too soon, and has the second Armor Smith available, so maybe felt comfortable enough to play the first one. Is it time yet to play it though?
I would assume so, because I guess he feels like he can clear with the Witchy. But what is he going to Witchy if he does that? It looks like he's going to Rampage.
Rampage and swing, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it does keep this healthier.
We can see in hand that he has both the I-Beams and also he can use the Warglaives to just clear up easily that 4/6.
Does take 8 damage doing it, but it does mean that that's just only 2 armor gained off of this, and
your health
certainly
is
worth it
very
in this
high
matter. Yeah.
Right now. Looks like we are going to see 3 of the 4 charges used off of these Warglaives. Are we going to see the 4th? No, it's going to be an in-turn going back over to Pond or FreeHongKong.
Yeah, this does make your next turn a little bit easier as far as certain top decks. You can guarantee a swing with other cards. Now, this I-Beam probably going to come down to clear off this Cork Run. Oh, no, with the Witchy Lackey. May not have a chance. Nope. Another shot here for more than 3 health, and not happening today, it seems, for Pond. Only 3 health minions on that side of the board. Now, however, Ted has to decide, is it time to start playing this Metamorphosis and just push and push and push damage? Yeah, I kind of like that play. This does set up the most damage over the next several turns, and your opponent doesn't have great things to do. Just the Bloodborne Brood. Ted gonna have to win in the next couple turns, though. That shield or that skull plus the Ultra is gonna be a lot of damage over the next 2 turns if he can survive 1 more. So I think you just send this 1 damage face, swing, and maybe go for a big Altruist next turn. Yeah, and Frozen Shadow Weaver this turn is not a bad option. either. Surprised that we're not seeing this swing in yet. Maybe hoping to save it for, I don't know. There could be a taunt lackey. We do see that there isn't the hand, but that is still an option. Ted with the 5 damage. This can be cleared with the Goblin Lackey. So Altruist will be 3 plus 5. So Altruist 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 plus 4. Yeah. 2, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, it's definitely lethal, I believe, here with the. It's 16, so he's got with the hero power that's 5 already. Yeah, it's more than it's way more than enough with the Altruist here. You just hero power the face, Altruist, and just play everything on the left. It's way more than enough. Go for it. You got this. There's several ways to get here now with this glaive mount, I believe, as well. So we'll see if that. It looks like we're going for the glaive bound. That's still, I think, enough here. That's 6. That's 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's enough with the glaive bound anyway. Yeah. There were several ways to do it. I think the Altruist was fancier, but
looked prettier too.
Yeah. But that will be it. And Ted finding the win with the Demon Hunter. The Warrior struggling for FreeHongKong today. And Ted taking the victory that his team really is going to like here. That's a 3-1 win. And as we were saying before, that does mean that ATL is guaranteed a loss this week.
Yep, it closes out the week, and the Stubbs has taken it.
Wow. What an upset here we were able to see. Still 2 matches remaining in that series, but regardless of the outcome of those, the Stubbs will have taken the week. And let's get Ted in here. We'll do a quick interview, and then I'm going to dip out, and Ted's going to take over here for me.
Ted's already in here.
Ted's in here?
Not yet.
I didn't hear him jump in.
He's
hasn't joined in yet, but he's.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's in the group. Yeah. Should I join? It's like he's never been on the show before.
Yeah, it's not like he knows.
You ever been on the show before? Should I join?
Welcome to the show.
First of all, we got to interview you. Second of all, I'm hopping off after this game. You're doing the last match of the night, so you got to be in here.
First off, I would like to apologize for that Warrior mirror. I played that absolutely awfully.
Okay, well, and I'll let it pass if you're aware. I had a lot of complaints about those Warrior games, but
don't worry. I know I misplayed that, but I feel like I made up for it in Game 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations. That seals the series for your team. Really big win. Were you surprised by FreeHongKong's brings there at all, or were you kind of expecting a similar lineup? And how did you feel about bringing that Bomb Warrior into that mirror? You did end up getting the win, but a little bit of a tougher match to navigate.
Yeah, I wasn't very happy with it. Ron had initially said bring the Bomb Warrior, so you get the favor into the mage match, which ended up not working too well when he still has Zephyrus on 2, but
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so I was feeling uncomfortable, but I found a fast damage game plan and tried to just get in there ASAP.
Yeah, and your Druid game, we were talking at the very beginning about Druid and how it's sort of seen a little bit of a resurgence, and we could really see why after that game. It was almost just like it was scripted, the way everything was drawn. You had the Fungal Fortunes into the Overgrowth, and on 7 you had that insane Mount Seller, getting a Mukla and being able to play the Bog Beam to clear off the opposing board and taunt. It was like a clinic, that Druid game.
It was a very insane play. Very, very interesting to watch that deck in general. Fun deck to watch. But yeah, no, that was a fun match and a very, very strong showing for Druid.
Yeah, definitely. I was a little worried that he was starting to get a little ahead, and I had the Bog Beam, but I really needed something there to kind of keep control of the match, and that was the perfect answer.
Yeah, that Mount Seller. Whew. But yeah, congratulations again. Any other sort of highlights there, things that you want to sort of talk about with that match? Anything that kind of surprised you, or just sort of how did you generally feel with that match overall?
Pretty good. It's funny because the initial thought of my lineup was to kind of bring it as a almost soft rogue counter because I had a feeling he'd be bringing rogue. So I ended up bringing that, but yet I didn't even have to beat the rogue.
Yeah, you managed to beat that warrior 3 times. We saw the nerfs in action, I suppose. Definitely had some influence on that matchup, but also just some interesting and awkward hands there for Pond as well, leading to some really interesting plays that I'm sure I'm going to rewatch and try to analyze later.
Yeah, listen, game 3, just ignore my place.
I'm going to watch that. I'm going to use that as a training video for people of what not to do in the warrior mirrors.
Hey,
no, I'm just kidding. You got the win.
Yeah, I got there.
I make mistakes on stream all the time. It's a different, animal. It does add some level of like intensity sometimes. So I appreciate you coming on and doing that. And obviously you're sticking around. If you want to take over the interview here, you're welcome to interview yourself for the remainder. And good luck with the next matches. I'm going to hop off here. But
all right.
Good job, everybody. And good luck with the next match.
Yeah, good luck in your hair match. Wait, or no, it was laser. Sorry.
Nope, neither of those
Pro.
Actually. Nope,
It's
not even
pro.
that. It's a separate thing altogether. We don't talk about other series here, so.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay. All right.
Don't worry about it. But I do have a match coming up that I do have to get ready for. So good luck, guys, and enjoy the next match. Why don't you guys tell them as I leave what that match will be?
All right.
Unfortunately for Mr. Jim. Mr. Jim had a tree fall on his power line, which knocked out
my God,
his power, but everything's okay. So he's not be able to play the match tonight. So
okay.
This is
so that's it. So all that extra stuff I just
extra fluff. Thanks for coming in, Ted. Appreciate it.
Thanks for jumping on.
Subbing for that Mayanadon guy that just losing his poop over your plays, your warrior play.
It's okay. It's okay. I've made quite bad warriors plays too. Don't worry about it. It is a tough deck.
So yeah.
And anyway.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure I could hear you screaming from across the state in certain parts there.
Yeah, that's all right. That's totally all right. You got the win and a big win for your team. And looking to continue that, I'm sure, in the coming weeks and maybe even we've seen some interesting, I feel like, matches this season in both series. It's been a lot of like dominant, like sweeps almost on either way for a lot of these matches. So could happen here with Ron and Quaz remaining for your 2 last matches.
Yeah, those are I like being in this position where we have the week already sewed up and those 2 just to put on some extra points, which they're both definitely capable of doing.
Yep.
Well, absolutely. All right. Saku, take us out.
That pretty much wraps us all up. Wanted to double check the content channel here for a quick sec.
Yeah, do you think?
So Saturday we only have, I think, 1 match with Donde and Dano doing the casting with JR Juggalaw. This is a Pro Series match at 8 p.m. Eastern. So JR Juggalaw for Due Process versus Yachtster from State of the Blazes home. And Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, there's nothing scheduled yet. So if you'd like to get on there, just hit up Donde or hit up Lotus Knight, and they'll get you on as soon as they can. Sunday's bringing in a couple good matches here. We have myself, Dollar Bills, and the Big Ted hosting. We have a Hero Series match at 9 p.m. Eastern with Scritch and versus Disco. Then we have a Legacy Series match at 10 p.m. Eastern with Inzi versus Icicles or Icicles or Icicles, whichever way he likes to pronounce this. Icicles.
Cold boy.
Ick less. That's what we call it.
I see less.
See, ick less. Yeah, I see less.
I see less. A lot of different ways to say that, but those are going to be some great matches. If you are available, like Saku said, tomorrow or Sunday during the day, or even at night. There's only one match, like you said, for
Correct. Yeah.
Saturday at 8 p.m. So if you're playing at 9 or 10 or something like that, please reach out to Donde, and we'll try to get you on stream.
Exactly. So, from the lovely town of THL land, thanks Mayanadon, thanks SilverFox, and
That is where we all live,
Miss,
in the one town.
Mr. Big Ted. You guys have a great night.
You as well. Always a pleasure. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See ya.
Another round?